volume. The reason why I say that is because it'll be contingent on whether we would have service that day anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Because I may do it or not. But if everybody who've already been here, you know what I'm talking about, and partook in communion, it wouldn't be it'd just be an extra day to be preaching. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got to worry about getting that wine, because if ain't nobody coming, I can pour that wine out and get it from mom, because I don't want it. I don't want to know where mom is. I mean, I ain't gonna drink it, but what's the point of it just sitting in there? And that big old wicked nigga trying to run that over. This nigga got wine in here. That nigga probably been sipping. So then when get rid of that bill, I get rid of it. You know what I'm talking about? And that let them women know if they need to make some bread. You know what I'm talking about? If preparations need to be made. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to let that be known. Because if you desiring to eat of the Lord's Supper, then I think it would behoove you to let it be known, like, yeah, I'm coming. I know Brother Denzel done let me know. Brian just said he'll let me know tomorrow. But y'all got to open y'all mouth on this type of stuff. Same thing with Pentecost. If you know you good news your desire to come here for Pentecost, you need to let that be known. And if you coming, you need to send your ends on the proceeds so you can have something to eat. But there's no need for you to come for second Passover, devil, because you came for the first. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me read y'all Numbers chapter 9 so y'all can see where that comes. Hey, man, what is that? Lord. I don't be realizing, man, I can hear all that stuff, man. You see, y'all got all that stuff going on in the background. It's something real easy you can do. You know what it is? Mute button. Huh? I got your pants. Come on over here. Come on. I know that's my whole point. Okay, well just come on over here and see how much your pants are. Just come on over. Just come on over here. I'm gonna show y'all what I am. Just come on over. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the type of stuff we don't even know, like, that type of stuff get you killed, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just like I don't want to do them, that 30-year minimum mandatory sentence when I'm going to get for cutting out your intestines and handing them to you. That's what you're going to do. That'll be the one thing about it, I ain't scared to go to prison. Sounds real good. I mean, huh? One thing about it, man, for right situation, I ain't scared to go to prison. They don't want to go, I ain't scared to go. There's a difference. Y'all do know there's a difference of not wanting to go and being scared to go. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't worried about that there. Oh, you gonna be worried about it? I ain't worried about it. Because I kept your stomach over and had you on test. I had a good reason. I said I thought he was an animal. I was just getting ready to offer. I said I was blind. I ain't been blind. I went blind for about 4.5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even see. I just was swiping. Next thing I know, there's blood on my hands. I got intestines. I don't even know where it came from. You see before I blacked out. I ain't know what's going on. I'm like Brother Livingston. Only different one I ain't eat you. No, that's really happy. That nigga got on something. He killed somebody and he was in the middle of the street eating along. That nigga was zooted. I don't know what that nigga was on. He should have left it alone. Nigga was on something. No, it's old. Yeah, it's old. Like, this nigga did this a long time ago. Like, I know Delta just was tripping because that's a Bay Area route. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know who that is. Numbers 91. And Yah spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying that the children of Israel also keep the Passover at its appointed season. And the 14th day of this month at even, you shall keep it in its appointed season. According to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof, you shall keep it. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even, in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that Yah commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man. They could not keep the Passover on that day, and they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto him, We are defiled by the dead body of a man, wherefore we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of Yah in his appointed season among the children of Israel. And Moses said unto them, Stand still, and I will hear what Yah will command concerning you. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off, he shall keep the Passover unto Yah. The 14th day of the second month at evening, they shall keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter odors. They shall leave none of it until the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. But the man that is clean and is not in a journey, and forbear to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not the offering of Yah in his appointed season. That man shall bear his sin. And if a stranger shall sojourn among you, and will keep the Passover unto Yah, according to the ordinance of the Passover, according to the manner thereof, so shall he do. He shall have one ordinance, both for the stranger and for him that were born in the land. So the purpose of the second Passover is if you were unclean for a particular reason, like last year, little mother couldn't take it because she had just had Lizzie. Or you was in a distance where it was too far for you to make it. Other than that, you ain't got no excuse for not coming up for that. You know what I'm talking about? That man said if you gonna sit back and be like, oh, you just didn't want to come. So you pretty much just get ready to go there. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what he just told you. And this comes down to what y'all have to start looking at this stuff and taking it a lot more seriously than what you take it. You know what I'm talking about? Because you sit back and look at it, well, if I make it for the feast, I just make it for the feast. You just gonna make it to go to hell is what you're gonna end up doing. Because that's why he said, the Son of God has come and given us an understanding that we may know him that is true, and that we are in him that is true, even his Son, Yahshua HaMashiach, that this is the true God, eternal life. It should be your want and desire if you say, I'm a part of a congregation that I want to be there for if you stay out of town. Or if the man done put it in your heart to be there, then you ought to be doing everything necessary to be there where the congregation resides. Because your soul on the line for that. You sit back and you look at it and you be like, oh man, we got these 7 days. Man, I'm going to tell y'all this here. So y'all can just go ahead and get ready for Tabernacle. If you know this is what we're supposed to be doing, and we really can't do it all the way like I would like to do it. Because I'm talking about, we would start at about 3 o'clock, and we'll stop till the sun come up. You know what I'm talking about? That means, I'm dead serious. So that means if you already know that there's 2 weeks out here, because that's all you're talking about now is 2 weeks. 1 week in the beginning of the year, and 1 week at the end of the year. That means you will be able to either get your finances in order where you can take that whole week off of work and it don't mean nothing. That means you ought to be preparing for that. That's what you get. Sit your behind down and stay still. That's why you always get yourself hurt, because you won't stay still. Cock your head straight. Oh, for real though. You talking about 2 weeks out here. You know what I'm saying? It be like this here. Sometimes y'all be acting like it's a burden to you. Oh man, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's not the mind frame you supposed to have for this. You supposed to be waiting all year for this. You know what I'm saying? We wait all year for this. When Tabernacle come around, we waiting all year for this. When Tabernacle over there, like, boy, can't wait for Passover. You know what I'm talking about? For real. I know we do. I'm ready for this here. Every year. You know what I'm talking about? Tabernacles. If my mind serves me correctly, I believe it started on September 28th, but I had to go back and look. Huh? Yeah. Feast of Week Pentecost, that's May 30th and May 31st. Which it'll end on that Sabbath end in May 30th, go right into Pentecost. Services 1:30 that afternoon. Then we got Day of Atonement, and we got trumpets. Now, it's not required for y'all to come for trumpets and atonement, but if you're there to serve the Lord, it should already be in your heart to get there. Because it ain't but 1 day. You know what I'm talking about? You have to start looking at this stuff as you looking at what shoot. The reason why y'all got the mind, Hebrew chapter 10. We're going to still get to what we're going to look at, Lord will. Little Kingston and Little Hill. Y'all keep y'all butts through to them seats. No, I know it. Or we gonna find you somewhere to sleep at. Hebrews 10 and 25. Make it 23. I don't want to hear it. Let us hold fast the profession of our hope without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see as the day approaches. Because you got a lot of Hebrews, they feel like I don't got to congregate, we don't need to come together, or they only want to come together when it's convenient for them. Now, I done told y'all this before, and I'm going to say it again. We ain't told now one of y'all to pack up and leave from nowhere. But if the man doesn't put it in your heart, and you know he done did it, and you ain't been making the provisions and moves to do what the man told you to do, then that can't be nothing but one thing: you actually don't trust and believe in God. You pump faking, you praying. You know what I'm talking about? And it is what it is. That don't mean you just supposed to jump up, I want to leave them all. But some of y'all, but at the same time, you know the man, you're supposed to be making the move so you could be set up to go. Because y'all know if the man done told you to do it or not. Because ain't there one of you niggas can sit back and say, I told you, yeah, you need to move here. You do what you want to do. You know what I'm talking about? It don't make no difference if you stay where you at or you come down here. You come down here with the wrong mind, you're going to hell. You stay where you at with the wrong mind, you're going to hell. But if the man don't put it in your heart to do it, it ain't up for a reason. And if you ain't got enough sense to know what that reason is, you're already in trouble. What you say? You know what I'm saying? Everybody this here, man. I don't mind, but we're supposed to be able to gather up together just like this here on these feet, man, and be able to be all night long. We shouldn't be like, boy, I'm ready to go home. You know what I'm talking about? They like, yeah, I don't want to go home. You know what I'm talking about? Lord, when the time go by, let some of you bad singing niggas sing it all, except for that nigga right there. Straight up. Tell me, man, we let that nigga swing, then the dog gonna be coming up there. Man, who keep blowing that whistle? God, you blowing that whistle. Y'all know the dog whistle, they do that real quick, they go like this here. Man, stop playing. And they call themselves trying to get that Mariah Carey note. That's what them dogs really come. Stop playing. I want to live. I'm telling you, I got to mess with that, man. That nigga tried to sing SWV week, they oversang it. They oversang it. I tried to tell it. They say you, as they say, you got to stay within your vocal range. Just like this here, man. You do it. If y'all ever watch, any of y'all ever watch a record on the end of the show, and they tell some of them, they picked a song that didn't suit their voice. Yeah, like you can sing, but it ain't the song. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that you don't have the ability to do it, but sometimes people pick songs that don't fit them. How would somebody with a baritone pick a song that's for a falsetto? You know what I'm talking about? You ain't gonna be able to hit them notes. Nigga, that's like Barry White trying to sing what Michael Jackson was saying. You know what I'm talking about? That is the it ain't gonna work. Alright. Now I'm for real though, you gotta pick a song that is like this here. Like my sister, I ain't think she really could sing, but certain notes she did though. You know, they put her in the choir. No, I mean, she can hear so fast. She sent me a rap. She wrote for True Jews right now. Now she always rap though. She was rapping so fast I had to tell her slow delivery down. She said when she tried to rap into the beat, couldn't breathe no more. But the beat so fast, and she was like everybody else slow with real safe. And I'm like, you might want to slow him down. I'm telling you, it's the same thing with rappers, man. Some of them rappers, man, a lot of them wasn't nice. They had delivery. You know what I'm saying? Some of them lyrics wasn't all that great. They just knew how to deliver the word. Yeah, Biggie had a mean delivery. Like Jadakiss once said on the record, he said, I tell them apart from the people. You know what I'm saying? It's all about knowing how to manipulate your voice. You can't, just because you think you can sing a particular song don't mean your voice going to agree with it. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't say you couldn't sing, I said, that's all. I told you that here. That's all no work for you. When I gave you my honest assessment, I said you oversang, you missed your pitch and your tone. If you would have picked a better song that fits your voice, I might not have said that. And you could tell you were oversinging too. You see, but Mike, you wasn't even there. Hebrews 12 and 22, 21. What is that? Don't go. Hebrews 12 and 22. Y'all don't know about that. We were right there. 12 and 22. Let's go ahead and do what we came to do. Then you mad at me. I know I can't sing, but like that nigga say I sound like we the bad dogs in the shower. That's weird. I want to nigga 50 say. Let me say I smell like the bad dogs in the shower. That would make most of you niggas think you can sing, because you be in that shower singing in the acoustics and that be good. Then when your homegirl be lying to you, girl, you was singing that song. You be in the car singing, don't nobody be around. You be like, I can sing. You know what I'm talking about? All the glasses in the car. But we say, what happened to you winning? I got an accident. So what was the accident? I tried to sing along with Aretha. Tried to sing along with Mary J. Winners couldn't take it no more. Hey, don't get mad at me now. You don't want to keep that SWB week for your tour. That's your fault. Should have sang some S702 or something. Should have picked. No, I don't say that better because Anne-Marie can sing a little bit. Should have picked some Britney Spears or something. Some Britney Spears or something. I'm telling you, pick something you can do. Hey, boy, hey, that's SWB now, boy. This is boy. They made one sister with voice for no reason. Them girls can sing. Like, them girls have some real strong, powerhouse voice. They want to work in. Hey, I'm telling you something. I done heard some people who can sing now. You get credit where credit is due. They ain't no joking like that. But here we go. Hebrews 12 and 22. He say, but ye are come unto Mount Zion, unto the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and into an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly and the house of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to God the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. So now we gotta sit back and look at something. He's talking about to the general assembly and the house of the firstborn, the synagogue of the firstborn, the body of the firstborn, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. Now when I mentioned to y'all the other day that we were in day 4, we would actually need to see the significance of that. So let's go look at Daniel 9 and 24. Of how he was able to make the body of the firstborn and that general assembly. Ooh, boy, my shoulder hurt me. Like I said, how many of y'all on this phone think you can sing? I know Papa thinks she can sing. They told me you were singing some freaky songs the other day, but you better stop singing that freaky stuff. I ain't hear it though. I don't know if you do a little something. Is any of y'all think on here think y'all can sing? You think you can sing? Any of y'all on this phone think y'all can sing? Ain't nobody got to be ashamed if you think you can sing. All we gonna do is try y'all. We gonna tell you the truth. That boy Claire said he can go. I said go right to the bathroom. You gonna go right to the bathroom. He said no, you can say it. Like this here, it's not lawful for me to speak. I'm gonna keep that to myself. I don't know nothing about what you're talking about. 9 and 24. Pam said, don't be putting me out here in this place. He said, thank the Lord for the word. I ain't supposed to be talking right now. I don't know nothing. And he says, Daniel chapter 9, verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people, upon thy Kodesh city, to finish the transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up division and prophecy, and to anoint the most Kodesh. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Hamashiach the Prince shall be 70 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Hamashiach be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince thou shalt come destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with the flood until the end of the world desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week shall he cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overcoming of the abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation and the determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Now we'll go back and maybe look at verses 24 through 26. How many of y'all ever heard about him confirming the covenant with many in 1 week? How many of y'all ever read that or heard that before? Just one man. That's all we got, one person.
Yes, sir.
And for what y'all was told that meant when you heard it? What was y'all told that meant when you heard that he would confirm the covenant with many in the week, and in the midst of the week he called the sacrifice and oblation to cease? What were y'all told that meant? I'm asking y'all this serious. I know that y'all talking. Go ahead. Okay, anybody else? Oh, you don't need to be quiet. No, I'm not asking nobody for an answer. I'm talking about anybody who ever heard this verse read to them. How was it explained to you? Huh?
I can get an explanation on it. Just like read through it.
Okay, now when you run across most Hebrew Israelites, they'll tell you the confirming the covenant in 1 week is 3.5 years is how long he preached for. And then we're going to be in the wilderness for 3.5 years. Because 1 week prophetically, majority of the time means 7 years. And then they'll say he confirmed the covenant in the midst of the week, meaning he was crucified on a Wednesday and he rose from the dead on the Sabbath. When you hear a lot of Israelites talking about he rose from the dead on the Sabbath, they'll be like, he died on a Wednesday.
Oh, and Joseph had that in his book.
You know what I'm saying? Most Israelites teach it. But let's go back to Judges chapter 14. He said here that he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Let's go back to Judges 14 now. And we're looking at Leviticus chapter 23. Because what day we in right now? Right now we in the 7th day of unleavened bread. Let me get to Judges 14. Judges chapter 14, verse 12. It says, and Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then will I give you 30 sheets and 30 changes of garments. But if you cannot declare it me, then you shall give me 30 sheets and 30 changes of garments. And they said unto him, put forth the riddle, thy riddle that we may hear it. And he said unto them, out of the evil came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. It came to pass on the 7th day, they said unto Samson's wife, entice thy husband, that he might declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire, as you call to take us that we have, is it not so? Now, if this feast is 7 days, Leviticus chapter 23, what feast is actually this a similitude of here in Judges 14? This would be Passover. Remember, he said, out of the eater came forth meat. This is Passover. Because remember, we could actually go back and we could read and see everything that happened to Samson in the 15th chapter, and in the 16th chapter, and in the 17th chapter is what happened to Yahshua HaMashiach. He carried a beam on his shoulder. He was bound up by his brethren and taken to Gentiles. The Spirit came upon him and he burst the bonds. And then he died so that many could actually be made alive. Leviticus 23, verse 2. So we got to confirm how long unleavened bread for. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of Yah, which ye shall proclaim to be Kodesh convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yah in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of Yah, even Kodesh convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. And the 14th day of the first month at even is Yah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yah. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. And the first day you shall have a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. But you shall offer made by fire unto Yah 7 days. And in the 7th day is a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. So again, we see that this man said he would come and confirm the covenant with many in 1 week. Let's go look at John chapter 20. Let's see if Yahshua did that. Matter of fact, before we do that, Ezra chapter 9. Ezra. Ezra 9, about verse 3. Everybody all up? My shoulder hurts. What I did to it. I hope I ain't cracked it again. Then were assembled unto me every one that trembled at the words of the God of Israel. Ain't that something? The people who came unto him were those who trembled at the word. I wonder who that could be. Because of the transgression of those that had been carried away, and I sat astonished until the evening sacrifice. And at the evening sacrifice I arose up from my heaviness, having rent my garment and my mantle, I fell upon my knees and spread out my hands unto Yah my God. This man said he sat astonished until the evening sacrifice. What time of day it was when Yahshua got killed? It was evening time. And it's something that when he made that prayer unto God, because of those who was with him, his disciples, what? And what time of night it was when he was praying? It was nighttime, wasn't it? You read about that prayer in John chapter 17, or Matthew 26, or Mark 14. It was even time when he spelled out at the time of the evening sacrifice and made supplication before y'all. But let's see what, because y'all know what Ezra was, right? Y'all know what Ezra was? And he was a priest. He was a scribe, he was a priest. That's what it says here in verse 5. Well, then he said, at the time of the evening sacrifice I rose up from my heaviness, having rent my garment and my mantle, and I fell upon my knees and spread out my hands unto Yah my God, and said, Oh my God, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my God, for our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespasses are grown up unto the heavens. I want you to come look at it. He said he dropped, he said he couldn't even lift his face up, right? So I mean his face was to the ground, right? Then he say, our iniquities have been raised up unto the heaven. Come on around here to Matthew 26. Let's see if this man's face was on the ground. Matthew chapter 26, verse 39. Make it 36. 36 is good. Matthew 26 and 36. You all right over there, Kingston? You all right? All right. What little stank is hiding that? You all right, little stankers? Have to watch y'all two tag team partners. Then come Yahshua with them unto a place called Jessamine, and saith unto his disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. Because remember, he said, I'm with me assembled unto me of those who trembled at the words of God. Who else was assembled with him other than Yahshua? You got a priest saying the people came, only the people who trembled at the word came with me. He said, I fell down astonished at the evening sacrifice. Then he said, I sat down, rent my garment and my mantle, put my face to the ground and prayed, say, my iniquities done gone past the heavens. He said, and he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be sorrowful and very heavy, because it sounded like to me he sorrowful and heavy just like everyone was. And then said he unto them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he went and did this 3 times, praying on his face. And you know why he was praying? Because he acted his cup to pass. Why? Because the iniquities are grown up or is increased over our head, and the trespass are grown up to heaven. And I got to wear it. Remember, he said he's laid the chastisement of our pieces upon us. He was bruised for our iniquities. Now you heard in verse 24 of the 9th chapter of Daniel how I said that this man came to end sin and to make reconciliation for transgression and to anoint the most Kodesh. Can you see how this man fallen into place? He did the same thing Ezra did.
Yes, sir.
But now we got to sit back and look at how the iniquities was passed up in the heavens. Well, let's look at 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 18. Y'all know what Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, don't you? You know what Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And wasn't that little Mike? No, we ain't got no bite. Nobody. Nobody. Hold on, y'all. The call dropped on me. Okay, did that too fast. And I was the first caller. Any of y'all got any idea what this man means when he say that our trespasses are over our heads and our iniquity has went up under heaven? Alright, y'all. Sorry about that. 1 Peter 3 and 18. Well, I can't do nothing about it. Chantel said she had to get off of that because it just kept kicking her off. The phone said, we ain't your friend. It said, for the Messiah also have once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened in the spirit. Now, remember it said the spirits of just men made perfect. We already talked about some of this earlier this week. Actually, it was on Wednesday. Because y'all know the next verse said, right? By which he also went preached unto the spirits in prison. Now we're going to come back and look at that, how he would be able to make the spirits of just men and make them perfect. But right now, you know, Paul said that this man was made sin who knew no sin, that we could be reconciled back unto God. So when we go back and look at John chapter 3 verse 14, as the book of Ezra is stating that our iniquities have increased over our head and trespasses gone unto the heavens. Well, let's see what John 3 and 14 say about your trespasses going unto the heavens then. And I thank the Lord. And then we'll look at Ephesians chapter 4. Give me that snack. Kingston, give me the snack. Give it to me. No, it's your snack. It's your snack. I don't want it. Give me your snack. I ain't giving you nothing. And he said as Moses. Matter of fact, back number 13. No man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Now whosoever believed in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Now this man just sat back and said that our iniquities are over our head and our trespasses has grown up into heaven. Now you know that this man was lifted up into heaven, right? Representing your trespass. But you also know how your trespasses were taken into heaven. How do y'all think y'all trespasses done grown up into heaven or be taken into heaven in a manner of speaking? What is this nigga over here talking to that? Well, let's look at Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 4. Remember, we dealing with confirming the covenant with many in 1 week. This ain't got nothing to do with what most people think they're talking about. Boy, my shoulder hurt. Went from the middle of my back all the way up here where it's not at. I got a bone callus right here. I cracked my shoulder, ain't even know it. About 3-4 years ago. He stopped me and I kept on lifting. They was like, you need to go see the doctor. And we looked it up and seen what it was. They said that's what it shows when it's healed. I said, well, you don't need to go to the doctor now. Yeah. It doesn't heal now. I got a big old lump right here. I have it for life. I remember when I cracked it on the shoulder press machine. Well, nigga, it hurt right now. I'm getting mad because you don't lift weights, nigga. I think that's a hater, boy. But when you get that, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all something. You know what happened when you cross your testicles? Y'all know what happened when you cross your testicles? No, you get testicular cancer, and that's what he got. Because he keep his nuts crossed. He keep his nuts crossed. I'm cross the nuts, my nigga. That's what haters do. They gotta stay crossed. You can't even walk straight. Call it what you want, though. I've been telling you for a long time, stop uncrossing your nuts. You gonna get, when you had them big old leaves around up, I'll say you what it want. Tell you wrong with Dave Chappelle, man. Don't even say the right thing. You was out in the war too, bro. And what you were saying?
I want to war, baby.
I know the old hate, man. Don't nobody like a hater.
Hate out.
That's all we want to do, let the hate out.
Next nigga say something, get shot.
Yeah, that nigga was He's just 4-4, man. There's one body. Remember, to the General Assembly, the body of the firstborn. If it's the body of the firstborn, that means it's one body. One spirit, even as you are called, and one hope of your call. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of the Messiah. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but he that also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? And he that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. So when he talking about your trespasses is blown under heaven, he took death captive. Which means what else he took captive? That means he made an end to sin, like we read in Daniel 9:24. Right? So that's how your trespass got blown up under heaven. Not only was he put up on the tree and your trespasses was up in the heavens in the tree, but remember we just read last night, he filled what? He filled the heaven and the earth. Going back to Jacob's ladder, right? Because Jacob's ladder was in between the heavens and the earth. He saw angels ascending and descending. You just heard the Lord say, who has ascended up in the heaven except he that descended. So when he seen that ladder, he was seeing the Messiah on the tree in the midst of heaven and earth. That's what he saw. And then after he seen that, he said, let me make a covenant with you. He said, I'm going to give you this land I gave you your father. He was showing, I'm going to confirm this covenant that I made with you. I'm going to confirm it and say, please know that. And then after that, what did Jacob go do? Found a stone and say, truly, this is God's house. Got some oil, anointed it, and say, look here, man. You give me some bread, you give me some clothes, I'll give you a tenth for everything that I got. So you know when you tell him, you already know who the stone is. Y'all see the chief cornerstone, precious stone, elect, disallowed of men, but chosen of God. And he say, you know what? He say to the builders that said in this corner, the builders of the house have rejected the headstone of the corner. This was y'all's doing, and his boldness in his eye. You know, we talked to a man about this, and he said, how did we know he did that for Jacob? I said, you see Jacob paying tithes right here to the Messiah, to the high priest.
Yes, sir.
He said, how do we know he gave Jacob bread and clothes? I said, boy, if he wasn't on the phone, boy, I really want to take my hands and stick it through that phone and just slap the nigga. Because if he didn't do that for Jacob, we're scarred. You know what that bread and weight that he asking for? He was asking for the word. He was asking for this man's flesh, and he was asking for the Ruach HaKodesh. He said, if you keep me in the way that I'm going. So then he asked him to keep him in the way. And what y'all we just read? What he told the disciple. You know the way. I've been showing it to you. It's me. This man was asking for the Son of God. He said, you give me that, I'll give you that. He said, I don't care less about that. You think that was a story about a man putting oil on a rock? You think that was a story about angels going up and down on the ladder? I was showing you the sun suspended between heaven and earth. Your trespasses have grown under heaven. He had to put this man up in the heavens and sit back and magnify your sins going up in the heaven. Then after that, this man ascended on high, taking death with him, which means he took your trespasses along with him too. Because he going to go to that tabernacle to make intercession for you. And he said in David 9:24, this man came to make an end to sin. And you know Yahshua's name mean what? Yah saves. He shall save his people from their sins. Those that dwell in him do not commit sin. He came to make an end to sin, to reconcile you back to God, so you could be a part of that general assembly and house of the firstborn. Because if you're the house of the firstborn, that means you are born of the only begotten. But we'll get to that. Come on back to Ezra chapter 9. I know we're referencing a lot of places, but it's all right. Y'all just work with me. Might be taking off, don't it? Verse 7 of Ezra chapter 9. Since the days of our fathers, have we been in great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the land, to the sword, to captivity, to spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day. And now for a little space, grace hath been shown from Yah God to leave us a remnant, the general assembly and house of the firstborn. Leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his Kodesh place, that our God might lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. I want y'all to sit back and look at something with that escape. Is you actually paying attention on what? 2 Peter chapter 2. Because you look like you're in love already. 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 18. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness. Those that were clean escape from them who live in error. See, this is what Ezra was sitting here praying about. About escape, that he gave that remnant a means to escape. See, some of y'all are dealing with people who trying to allure you through the lust of your flesh, and you not escaping. You getting brought right on up in it. You're a real simpleton when it comes to that. He said, while they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servant of corruption. For whom a man is overcome, the same is brought into bondage. For after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of our Lord and Savior, Yahshua HaMashiach, and they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse than them than the beginning. So when you sit back and look at it, he's leaving a remnant of us to escape for those who live in error. We'll also get ready to go to 1 John chapter 4, part about verse 3. What y'all gonna sit back and look at is people are trying to pull you back. And if you actually go back, it's going to be worse for you than when you actually started. So if you sit back and you look at the state you were in before you started, and you thought that was bad, if you go backwards, it's going to be worse. Matter of fact, let's let me read you the next verse too. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it, to turn from the Kodesh commandment delivered unto them. So it would be actually better for you to have never ever heard of this man than to hear this man and turn back. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be better for you not to never even heard it. It would have been better for you not even heard it. You know a lot of brothers going to hell for this? Because they heard it and went backwards. I ain't talking about anything that's just about the law. You turning back from the law, that's one thing. But if you ain't never heard of Yahshua HaMashiach, you never actually got the Kodesh commandment, because the Kodesh commandment was to love Yah with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength. And Yah told you to believe on him who he sent. Now if you have heard that Kodesh commandment to believe on his son and heard of his son and you go back, it was better for you to never even heard of this man. I'm gonna tell you, the people who were with us and that went back, you know they worse off than what they were before they started. One really made no real changes, period. Before they even turned back. If you have a grown man say, I tried, it was too hard, it was too strict, you would never cut out for this in the first place. And not even be man enough to tell me that yourself. Had to tell it to a woman. So I already know, you ain't got the heart for this. I know I sit back and I mention it to you, I'm telling you, man, there's got to be something inside of you that's overwhelmingly burning that this is what you want to do. All that shaking your head and nodding and be like, yeah, he's right. Man, that stuff don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? That stuff don't mean nothing. It's got to be an overwhelming, burning desire within you that I must accomplish this task. See, when it comes down to carnal stuff, well, y'all bust y'all necks to accomplish that. But when it comes down to this here, man, it got to be that serious, man. You sit back and realize, man, at any time this man can give you a mind to say, I'm through with this. The only reason why he would give you Hebrews chapter 3, I'll get to John chapter 4, Hebrews 3 and about verse 19. The only reason why he'll give you a mind for you to go back from it is because your heart was never with it in the first place. Like you read certain kings and say his heart was not perfect with Yahweh God. See, you'll do just enough. But when the right situation and circumstance come up, and when it's something you want or you want to do, you go bump. So you got to get your heart set on serving this man completely. Make it about 18, 17 even better. He said, but to whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom swore he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. Now he's talking about in Ezra that he left a remnant to escape. 1 Peter chapter 18. 1 Peter 1 and 18. He said he left a remnant that should escape. He showed grace to us that we might have a little reviving in our bondage. Now when we were in captivity to sin, we could sit back and not thank the Lord. Well, I'll show you what I'm talking about. We're working another way. 1 Peter 1 and 18. He said, for as much as ye know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things as silver and gold from your vain behavior received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of the Messiah as of a lamb without blemish and without spot, who truly was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you. Now you sit back and look at it. During Passover, you had a lamb that was used to deliver us from the vain conduct and behavior that we learned from the Egyptians, right? Even Joshua told us not to go back and do the things that we saw or did in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? He said, leave that stuff on the other side of the floor. Now Yahshua come back and he delivers us from bondage, from the vain behavior that we learned of our fathers, which you just heard Ezra speaking on right in the 9th chapter. By our forefathers that we led captive, we all turned, we ain't did nothing we were told. You know what I'm saying? And now we got a lamb that come to deliver you from that. To deliver you from that behavior. Now we got to sit back and look at it. This man has delivered you through his own blood from this behavior, from the path you were walking, the way that you were going. Why would you go back? Now he said, I'll give you a little revival in your bondage. Let's look and see how he gave us a little Judges again. I want to say 14 yet again. It might not be 14. It's 15 that I want. Judges 15 and 15, maybe 14, 12 even better.
Judges 12?
Judges 15 and 12.
15.
He said he gave us a little revival while we were in our bondage, right? We already read this week that when we were, that the Philistines had authority over us, right? During the time of Samson, right? So that means we were in bondage, right? And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that you will not fall upon me yourselves. Who remembers what that's at in the testimony of Hamashiach? Who remembers what the people said that at? Any of y'all know what the people said that at? Yeah, did they tell Pilate how long we can't kill any man? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember them saying that? You know, y'all don't remember them saying that? John chapter 19, man. Maybe 18 actually. John 18 to 28. Y'all minds be that big. Then they led Yahshua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but they might eat the Passover. See, they didn't want to do no second Passover. You see that? They knew if they were defiled, they couldn't eat it. They would have to wait a month. Pilate then went out unto them and said, What accusation bring you against this man? They answered and said unto him, If he were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him up unto you. Unto them. Then Pilate said unto them, Take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death, that the saying of Yahshua might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Because remember, he told his disciples the Gentiles would kill him. Now you got Samson telling his own peoples, man, swear to me you won't do it. Come on back to Judges 15. They had to come back around there and say that to John. We went over that before. Obviously you didn't remember. Come up here, do me a favor. You can pull that water bottle, that deja blue bottle out of that refrigerator, bring it to me, please. Y'all alright? This nigga look like y'all dead. Back to Judges 15. Verse 13. And they spake unto him, saying, No, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hands. For surely we will not kill thee. They bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came to Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him. And the Spirit of Yah, thank you, Lord. The Spirit of Yah came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hand. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, With the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he made an end of speech, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramah Lehi. And he was sore of thirst. What did Yahshua say when he was on the tree? Thirst. He said he was sore of thirst, and called on Yah and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant. Now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? But God clave the hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Therefore he called the name thereof in Hakor, which is in Lehi unto this day. You know, he said he found water and the jawbone of an ass. Y'all know the name of the place where he was crucified at? A place of skulls. The place of skulls. So then he said water came out of that, and he was straight again. So you know what he's taking us back to? They're taking back to Romans chapter 8, right? When he said the spirit that raised the Messiah from the dead being you, it'll raise you from the dead. Well, let's look at it then. Because he said he gave you a little reviving while you were in your body. Then we'll go look in Romans chapter 5. The man said he had to give you a little, he said a little grace was extended to you, that you could get a little revival. Remember how we just read in Hosea chapter 6? He said 2 days he will revive us, and the 3rd day we'll live in his sight. So how many of y'all been so thirsty somebody gave you some water and it felt like it gave you life?
Hey, boy, that's how I felt when you did that Gatorade, though.
Yeah, I know you're thirsty. Some of y'all know y'all done been that thirsty. Romans 8 and 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. For you are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. And if the Messiah be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the spirit is him that raised up Yahshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up the Messiah from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwell in you. And y'all know we talk about John 7:37 all the time. What did the man say? If any man what? He said, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. This man said he gave you a little revival in your bondage. Let's see what the Lord told you to do in Revelation chapter 22. When you in your bondage, he said, he that committed sin is what? He said, he the servant of sin. You in your bondage. He came to give you a little revival. He came to confirm the covenant with me in the midst of the week. In 1 week, and he confirmed the covenant in the midst of the week. We just go over here so y'all will never sit back and think about, oh, that means he died on Wednesday night and rose from the dead Sabbath night. When we know he rise from the dead on no Sabbath day. We know better than that. Revelation 22 and 17. Matter of fact, look at 14. See who remembers what we looked at on this here. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. Who remembers what that is? Who remembers? We just looked at it not too long ago. Who remembers what this goes to? He said, blessed are those that do what I say, that they can get the tree and get in the city. Who remembers what that goes to? Where that in Genesis though? What you say? What you say, Joseph? Okay, that ain't telling me nothing. You gotta get more specific. What he told Adam not to do? What he told Adam not to do?
Not to eat their fruit.
And what did Adam do? And what did he do after Adam did that? Keep them out. And kept the tree of life from. Just trying to make sure y'all remember this stuff. Y'all remember that? A head nod is sufficient. A shaking of the head is a negative. Let's see what the next thing you say. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loves and make a lie. Who remember what a sorcerer is? A rebel. Y'all keep that in mind about that rebel. Don't y'all sit back and realize this man say without. You got to look at everybody who, because we looked at something about for not forsaking the assembly of yourself. Those who are outside the house don't get to hear nothing. That's why you got to sit back and look at yourself. You can't look at it as, I ain't got to gather. I ain't got to be part of no congregation. Or Hebrews say, I don't mess with no camps. You know what I'm talking about? And you gonna not mess your camp self straight to hell. Because you know a convocation means a gathering. Y'all aware of that? Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? So you know convocation means gathering, right? So how are you gonna have a set apart gathering if you're not a part of a congregation? How's that when you congregate? Don't you know if you not gathering because the law say to have a Kodesh convocation that you actually committing sin? That's ugly right there. You know how many people say, see, I ain't got to go to nobody's church. Because, see, I can stay at home by myself. And you going to hell. He said, how y'all sure have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the house. I am the root and offspring of David and the bright and morning star. And the spirit of the bride say, come, and let him that is say, come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. Because Yahshua did the will of his father. He told him, come on around here, son, I got some water for you. Y'all don't even remember that when he hit that rock when the people were complaining for water. He told them, come and drink. Now we got a better drink. See, they want to hear give you life. John chapter 4, verse 9. Break it 7. 6 is better. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahshua therefore being weary in his journey sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. And there come a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahshua said unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away into the city to buy meat. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans, pardon me. Yahshua answered and said unto her, If thou knew the gift of God, and who it was, who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. And y'all know who the similitude of this is? This too, we're not going to actually go through it really. Y'all know who the similitude did go to? Which one of you brothers know who the similitude did go to? You know what? Joseph. It ain't Joseph. Who was set to be the woman out of well? And he said, whichever woman give you to drink, that's the woman you gonna marry. That was Rebecca.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I actually ran across a pastor that said, see, you meet your wife at the well. But we know this wasn't Yahshua wife. But it was a similitude of what, that's why he said, if you would have known. See, Rebecca didn't know what was going on her end. You know what I'm talking about? She knew, but she didn't know. You know what I'm talking about? But he told this woman, if you would have known who it was told you give me something to drink, I would give you everlasting life, you big dummy. Don't you know sometimes you've been and had somebody, that's why for a certain extent, that's why they say be careful to entertain strangers, because some have entertained angels unaware. Now of course you know Yahshua wasn't no angel, but he was the son of God, and she had no idea who she was dealing with. See, you have some people, man, they'll come across somebody and they got the word. Like I just gave y'all a scenario the other day, and I didn't go to the Jeremiah 14, we'll save it for another time. But like it's raining in some cities, and it's a drought in others. Ain't no rain. Ain't no word there. Sometimes people can probably, I'm talking about people that see me in the street, and they would have no idea. No idea. Y'all know how many times I done talked to somebody in the street and they be like looking at you. I would have never thought you would have known that. And you talking about at this time, man, I had locks in my hair and I might have had on basketball shorts and slide and a t-shirt. And they just would have seen me and they were like, I never would have knew. I had to have it recently because the lady out there where I stood, they see me on the headphones, but they didn't know I had headphones, and they was like, this nigga be hollering and walking back and forth, this nigga crazy. She then I heard lady say, she said, I knew you had to be preaching or something. She said, I knew you couldn't be crazy because every time you walk past here, you smell too good and you look too nice. That's what she said. That's what she told her husband. She said, he thought you were crazy. She said, I did for a second. She said, but you walk past here and you always smell good and you look nice. She said, I said, you can't be crazy. She said, I be hearing you too. She said, you be saying the truth. But people don't be knowing. People look at you, they had no idea. That woman looked at this man, he asked her for something to drink. She had no idea what this man had. Suck it up. Suck it up. You go through this every week, every night. You can't run around, man. It's 10:05. It's 10:10. Somebody in your staff is supposed to be in the bed anyway. Luckily for you, we're dealing with the world. That's the only reason why you're up. Get your thumb out your mouth. Yahshua at verse 10 again. Yahshua answered and said unto her, thou knew the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink. Thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou living water? See how calm she was. See how calm she was. That's how some of y'all do when I say stuff to you. That's just how you come back with your response. Because you thinking calmly. You don't even actually sit back and think on, what is he actually saying to me? You see how the first thing she thought about was a well. That's the same thing he told Nicodemus. How can I tell you heavenly things if you don't understand earthly things? You know, most Hebrew problem is they want to deal with the heavenly things. You ain't master earthly things first. He said, art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Yahshua answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh this water shall thirst again. Whosoever drinketh the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. You sit back and you look at it, he said, I gave you a little reviving in your bondage. Well, sit back and look at it, Samson, for all intents and purposes, was showing Yahshua dying. And he said, I'm so athirst. Should I perish from lack of thirst? Yahshua was on the tree saying, I thirst. Ain't got no spirit. Don't have no eternal life. So he gave him something to drink. Now we sit back looking to be able to be made new. What I just asked for after this here? I know I just said something. It just slipped my mind. It already read it. I don't want 1 John 4 no more. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's come over here to 1 Corinthians. And verse 5. Chapter 5 verse 2. Read this part one more time. We still hold it as in chapter 9 though. Matter of fact, maybe it said, it is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. And you are puffed up, and have not rather mourned, that he that hath done this deed might be taken away from among you. For truly as absent in the body, but present in the spirit have judged already, as though I were present concerning him that hath done so this deed. In the name of our Lord Yahshua the Messiah, when you are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our Lord Yahshua the Messiah, to deliver such as one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit might be saved in the day of the Lord Yahshua. Now we sit back and we look at, you talking about somebody who got caught committing fornication. They've been doing this stuff on the regular. And you see, he say taking the body and delivering it to Satan, so that the spirit might be saved. So what he's talking about here is giving up your flesh, that your soul might be saved, so that you might get that water of life free. You know what a lot of y'all problem is? You don't want to give up your soul, that your body, that it might be destroyed, that your spirit might be saved. See, this water right here tastes real good right now, because I was real parched. Now just imagine how good that water God got to give will quench your thirst. A lot of y'all act like you don't want to drink it because you're so calm. You be sitting here going through the word, and some of you niggas' mind be everywhere else. Everywhere else. Then versus listening to what this man telling you and taking it in, so you get what you need to get where you want to be, and then you wonder why you having such a long period of time getting what you desire. Because your mind is not totally focused on it, because you're too many places. You worry about too many different things. When you without water in your flask, so to speak, what else you need to be concerned about? Everything else secondary. It's one thing if the word ain't coming, man, think about what you want to think about. The word coming, you niggas' mind. That's the prime time to look like most of y'all niggas' minds go to wandering. But that's all. Come on back to Ezra chapter 9. Verse 8. I'm going to read it again. And now for a little space, grace has been shown from Yah God to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his coat in place, that our God might lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. For we were bondmen, yet our God have not forsaken us in our bondage, but have extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to give us a reviving, to set up the house of our God, and to repair the desolations thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem. And now, O our God, what shall we say after this? For we have forsaken thy commandment. This man said that they was got a wall. Didn't we already read in Daniel that he said the wall would be rebuilt, even in troublous times? And he said, you gave us a wall in Judah and Jerusalem. And he said that you gave us a little reviving and you extended us mercy so we could set up the house and repair the desolation. Well, let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 5 then, and then we'll turn back around and see how the wall was built back up. Then we'll see how he left a nail in his codex place. Then we'll see how he confirmed the covenant with many in 1 week. Then we'll turn around and look at how he confirmed the covenant in the midst of the week, causing the sacrifice and obligation to cease. Boy, Mike got to go button too, boy. I thought Kingston had to go button. We'll also go look at Romans chapter 3. Here was Romans chapter 5 last for. That was war. Thank the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5 and 18. And all things are of God, who has reconciled us to himself by Yeshua HaMashiach, and have given to us the ministry of reconciliation. To wit, that God was in Hamashiach, reconciling the world unto himself, not imputing their trespasses unto them, and have committed unto us the word of reconciliation. Now then, we are the ambassadors for the Messiah, as though God did beseech you by us. We pray you in the Messiah's stead, be ye reconciled to God. Hey, that's the same thing Ezra just said. That he called us to be brought back even while we was up under you people. Then we already read that we were earlier this week how he said we were in bondage under the evidence of the world. Or how the prince and the power of the air had us doing things even as the children of disobedience. Then he sat back and looked at it. He said, after we give this revival, should we forsake the commandment? Remember what Paul said? He said, in Galatians chapter 2, if I rebuild the things that I destroyed, I make myself a transgressor. Is the Messiah the minister of sin? God forbid. You know what I'm saying? So if this man that had given us mercy and given us a space and a revival in our captivity while we were in our sin, why would we go back to it? What kind of sense does that make? Romans chapter 3. I think Romans 3 is what I want. If it's not, we're going ahead and look at that Romans 5 that I had called for. Yeah, Romans 3 ain't what I want. Come on over here to Romans chapter 5. Verse 6. While we were up under the captivity of the Medes and Persians, when we were stripped, did we have any problems? Thank the Lord, he's still working, man. Don't want to sleep, man. Don't fight. For when we were yet without strength in due time, the Messiah died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. For remember, says Messiah be cut off, but not for sin. Say, a greater love have no man than what? What law, the greater law did the man say no man had? What did the Lord say about that? Greater love have no man than what? He said that a man lay his life down for his friends. To give you a little revival. Then he said he did all this to set up the house. All this, because remember he said this was to rebuild Jerusalem, right? To anoint the most Kodesh. All this stuff. To rebuild the wall in troublous time. You know what a wall would be for, right? It would be for defense. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. So it might go hard. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11. Now all these things happen unto them for ensamples. They were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that think he stand, take heed lest he fall. There have no temptation taken you, but such as common to man, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but with the temptation also will make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. Remember he said that he set up an escape for his remnant, right? Then he said he would set up this wall and be a hedge of defense, because the word is there to protect you. The Messiah is there. You know what I'm talking about? Now you know when you talking about rebuilding the wall. That was again going back and raising this man from the dead. Because he said he left a wall in Judah and Jerusalem. Daniel said the wall would be rebuilt even in troublous time. Because you know that was a troubled period going on right there. They had just killed this man. There was a major uproar going on. Even to the point where he said, let's put a watch by the sepulchre to make sure his disciples don't come and steal the body and say he rose from the dead. There's a lot going on. He said, I'll rebuild this wall, even in troublous time. He said he would make a covenant with many in 1 week. Let's see how he did it in John chapter 20. Verse 20. Matter of fact, look at Matthew 26 and 1 before we even started. He said, we'll confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Found her crying like an old black woman. That's what it sounded like then. Right here at the funeral. Tyrone. You know when you kill me when people die and somebody get ready like they say, it should have been me. I say, man, I don't think you know what you asking for. I don't think you know what you asking for. Somebody should have been you. Say we could make arrangements on that. You know what I'm saying? We could put a bullet in you now.
Somebody would say he died too soon.
No, he died right on time. That's what they give me. He died too soon.
They killed old people.
He was a good boy.
No, he wasn't.
Nigga said the nigga had 2 AK-47s on him. Nigga said I was this is the one that killed me when they died. He was trying to get his life together. That's what they said about that dude that got killed by the police when he was reaching in his sock to try to hide his dope over there on Dirt Road. They said he was trying to get his life together. We go over that Dirt Road today. You don't want to go over there.
Oh no.
And then he was trying to get his life together. Coming off Dirt Road at 3 o'clock in the morning with a half ounce of crack in his sock.
That don't sound like what you like to do.
What that sound like to you, bro?
I'm trying to get that patent together. That was the sound.
On Dirt Road? Nigga, I ain't never going on Dirt Road with a half a blunt.
If I live on Bird Road, I ain't coming out after 9, bro.
Man, I ain't gonna I'd rather live in a van down by the river than live on Dirt Road. That's where they killed Chemo at. And I know the nigga who did it. Blue Chemo whole dome blue. That's why I'm Dirt Road. It came to pass when Yahshua had finished all these things, he said unto his disciples, you know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is to be betrayed to be crucified. So, what day of the week is it? After 2 days, he's going to be betrayed. So what day is it? It would be the 12th, wouldn't it? Huh? You said after 2 days is the feast of the Passover. What day is the Passover on? On the 14th day. So what day of the week is the 12th day? Now let's look at verse 17. Now the first day of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahshua saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Now we know full well, we know this is actually what? The 13th day. You know he made the sun go down on the 14th day. So now we sit back and look. We already read Luke chapter 24 when they came to the grave. Hold on, somebody called me. What's going on, man? Yeah, I heard you, and you alright? So now when we sit back and we look at it, he said it's the 3rd day since this happened. He went in the grave on what? The 14th day of the first month, right? So that's the first night in the grave, right? So the second night in the grave would be the 15th day, right?
Yes, sir.
Then the 3rd night in the grave would be what? The 16th day. Then he get up. Now he said he'll confirm the covenant with many in the midst of the week. Well, confirm the covenant in the midst of the week and confirm the sacrifice will stop in the middle of the week. He will confirm the covenant with everybody in a week. So what is the covenant? Jeremiah chapter 31. And verse 33. You know, you got people, we done went through this before, you got people say the new covenant ain't in effect. Only a dumb nigga will say that. Now he's out of there. I know your arm hurts. And not just because of the head, bitch. That nigga head. That is dead weight when he sleep. He like dead. No, he tired. He limp with it. They go limp like that. When they go limp like that, you know they tired.
That's that fall lap.
That's that when you old and you've been working all day long. You like to say, man, I know I need to take a shower. Screw it. I get it when I get up. I'm telling you. Know that big one of them sleeps you been at, or another one of them fall out sleeps is this here. I'm gonna sit down for 1 second. And I'm gonna get up and do this here, and then the next thing you know, how long y'all ever fell asleep and it was dark outside and you thought a whole nother day came and it just started running?
Yeah, 6 p.m. Watch it, man.
Now it had to be dinner time. I was young. I done jumped all down and late for school. Y'all look, there was a thunderstorm out there. That's why it was so dark out there. It was 6 o'clock in the evening. Ain't had no PM on the clock, so I just seen 6. So I was going late for school. Looked up, man, I said, you idiot. Wow, I don't know, boy. What you say? You don't know all track of time. I don't know if it's day, night, or what. Hold on, y'all. Call drop. Hold on, man. You might have to call. Your call drop.
That's that good sleep right there when you just wake up.
I started wondering.
What was I doing? What time?
That's how he was looking Kingston time.
You just wake up.
Alright, y'all. Alright, y'all. Jeremiah 31 and 31. So we went from 8 to 12, nigga dropping all my fly around him. 12 to 8, whatever it is. He said, behold, the day is come, saith Yah, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yah. But this shall be the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yah, will put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, they shall be my people. They shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yah, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yah. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Yahshua said in Matthew 26 and about verse 28, take, drink, this is the New Testament, which is shed for me for the remission of sins. When this man got up there on that tree, that was to make an end for sins and to make reconciliation to the people. Right? Now he did this in the beginning of unleavened bread. This is a whole week. We already read that in the law, didn't we? Samson showed us that when he gave that will, say, out of you came forth meat, now the strong come forth sweetness. Because out of the strong come forth sweetness, as Yahshua said, my flesh rests in hope. You will not suffer your coat as one to see corruption. And then out of the grave, he gave his disciples bread to eat, which was sweet as honey to their taste. You know what I'm saying? He said they couldn't understand the will for 3 days. You know Yahshua told these men in John chapter 6, he that eat my flesh, live and drink my blood, live by me, and I live in them and they live in me. That's what he told them, right? He told them the flesh that I give, he said, I'm the bread that comes from heaven, and the bread that I give is my flesh. Then he sat down with these men and broke the bread with them. They still didn't know what was going on. John chapter 20 and verse 5. Let's see if they couldn't even understand the riddle. See, we saved that one now. We still gonna work John chapter 20. Y'all weren't ready for that riddle. Y'all think I forgot to tell y'all how they couldn't figure out that riddle? They couldn't figure the riddle out there. They had to go ask somebody with it. Let's see if they want to decipher. It said 3 days they couldn't figure it out. Let's see now. It's been 3 days since the Lord went in the grave. They told me, they said we ain't figured it out yet. He said verse 4. Make it 3. Peter then went forth, and that other disciple and came to the sepulchre. So they both ran together. The other disciple did outrun Peter, and came first to the sepulchre, and him stooping down and looking in saw the linen clothes lying, yet went not in. Then comes Simon Peter following him, and went into the sepulchre, and see the linen clothes lie, and a napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a plate by itself. Then went in also that other disciple which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed. For as yet they knew not the scripture that he must rise again from the dead. How were they ever going to figure out the will? They didn't know. I remember somebody told me, I told him, I said the disciples didn't know he was going to raise from the dead. You call the disciples young dogs. I ain't calling them nothing. The book said they didn't know. Don't you know when he told these men certain stuff, they said, what does that mean? Some stuff they was even scared to ask him what it meant. I know I'm probably say some stuff to y'all be sitting there, I really want to know what it means. I ain't gonna ask them no. People doing that. That's why he made that face right there, y'all. Yeah. Say, that nigga ain't gonna cuss me out. You know what I'm talking about? But it's different when the Lord already knew they didn't know. There's a lot of stuff y'all had to already know you don't know. I done already told you one time I'm gonna go off if it was something that you already know. A lot of stuff I already know you don't know. I can be able to tell how you asked the question unless it's something I just told you. I ain't saying nothing to you. I told you I go off on that thing all the time. She supposed to know that. If anybody supposed to if any of y'all really supposed to know better, she supposed to know better. Before all of y'all, she supposed to know better. Just because of length of time. But if you with me, you supposed to know better. I shouldn't have to tell you the same thing, really, but I shouldn't have to tell you something but one time. Straight up, one time. And just so you start telling you. The Lord never sat back and tolerated disrespect to his wife. And the Lord went off on his wife because she didn't listen. You know what I'm talking about? She didn't listen because she was stubborn and rebellious. But when it comes to not listening, what I'm talking about is, like he told you in Hebrews, you're not taking the more earnest heed. So since you're not taking the more earnest heed to what he said, the stuff fall out your brain. And then when it's brought back to your attention, you like, what? And yeah, I'm going to snap because we told you this. Maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. That's why y'all don't hear. Y'all don't listen. Y'all not paying attention. That's how you forget this stuff. That's why I said that's how I know your mind's got to be in La La Land. I know you have to be daydreaming because you're not remembering the stuff. It'll be stuff we might have just went. I know one time where y'all had me hot. I can't remember what exact the topic was, but we hadn't even dealt with it. It hadn't even been 7 days. And nobody knew the answer. That means y'all sat there for 2 hours and caught nothing. No. You know that's horrible. That's not good. That's not good. It ain't good at all. Verse 20 of the same chapter of the book of John. Look at 19. The same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Yahshua, and stood in the midst, and said, peace be unto you. And when he had so said, he showed unto them his hands and his side, and then were the disciples glad when they saw the Lord. Then said Yahshua to them again, peace be unto you, as my Father has sent me, even so send I you. And when he said this, he breathed on them and said unto them, receive you the Ruach HaKodesh. You know he just confirmed the covenant with them, right? Because he said, I'll write my law in your hearts and in your inward parts, and I will forgive your iniquities, and I will remember your sins no more. You know he just confirmed the covenant with them. Y'all do see that, right? He said, whosoever sins you remit, they are remitted unto you. Whosoever sins you retain, they are retained. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Yahshua came. Then other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahshua, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you. Then said he to Thomas, Reach into thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach into thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believe. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Yahshua said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. But blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed. He said after 8 days. First day of Passover. How long was unleavened bread for? 7 days. 7 plus 1 equal 8, right? How long was that feast Samson had? 7 days. And they couldn't figure the riddle out in how many days? 3 days. And when did Yahshua rise from the dead? 3rd day. And what's that day after that that Sabbath on Passover? What that day is? Waving of the first fruits. And you know when you wave that first fruit, you know what happened when they wave that first fruit? Sacrifice and oblations ceases. That's done. That's over with. And he did that in the midst of the week. So you know what else he was able to do in the midst of that week? What you think else he was able to do? For the general assembly in the house of the firstborn, what else would he be able to do in the midst of that week? He was able to make us the sons of God in the middle of that week. When you look at it, he'll confirm the covenant with many in 1 week. That ain't got nothing to do with no 3.5 year period of him coming to preach and 3.5 years of us being in the wilderness. He confirmed the covenant with us through this week of unleavened bread. When they seen this man, he showed them that nail and that Kodak plate. That means the house of God had been set up, didn't it? That means that wall that was torn down that would be rebuilt, that Daniel told you about, had been rebuilt. Because Ezra already told you, he left you a wall in Judah and Jerusalem. He said, I give you a reviving in your bondage. The man gave you the Ruach HaKodesh to go to war. You just seen he gave it to a disciple. Because he said the people that were with him were those who trembled and feared God. And who was the ones at the sepulchre? The same people who was there when he fed on his faith praying. The same ones that was there when he was put up and your iniquities grew up under heaven. And they were there to be in that Kodesh place to set up the house. When he already told you, Peter, upon this rock I'm going to build my house. Why else would anybody else be there but them? Don't see that? Well, let's look at Genesis chapter 1 and verse 13. And Sherelle is out there. She held on. It's 10:45. She held on 10:40. She held on. I know them children be tired. You done woke back up again. Who woke you up, man? It was my mama. It was my mama. Well, Genesis 1 and 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the great light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. So what did we just see right here, gentlemen? Huh? No?
The resurrection.
You just seen the resurrection. You just seen the sons of God being made, or the covenant being confirmed in the middle of the week. When were the lights made? In the middle of the week. In the middle of the week. But then he said he made him to give light on the earth. Matthew 5:14. This one sitting here telling y'all got to look at your behavior. You're supposed to be lights on the earth. Remember, he said in Isaiah, this is the children that y'all have given me, and they are for signs and for seasons. You're supposed to be a sign to these people. Y'all ain't just supposed to be a sign because you got a head wrap on your head. Nigga, Jill Scott with a head wrap, and you know she a big time slut. What you do is listen to her records. Nigga, Erica Badu keep a head wrap on. She got 3 kids with 3 different niggas. Look at the video walking down the street, but who can make it? Where the righteousness in that at? Walking around with ox on. Ye are the light of the world. Didn't he just tell you that's what he put the lights in the heaven for? A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and to give light unto all that are in the house. Ain't the lights in the firmament of the heaven supposed to give light unto the whole earth? Well, that's what y'all supposed to do. Let your light so shine before men, so they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Philippians 2:15. That's what the whole objective is. This man, in the middle of the week, made the sacrifice of obligation to cease to be able to make you the sons of the living God. We'll look at John 10:34. We'll look at Hebrews chapter 9 and go along with it. And then we'll look at something in Ezekiel chapter 20. So what is Mike back there talking about? Talking about Bobby. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he talking about. Bobby. Make it 12. Philippians 2:12. Wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God which worketh you both to will and to do his good pleasure. Do all things without murmurings and disputings. I mean, y'all be able to do stuff without complaining and arguing and fighting with each other all the time. That you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without reproof, in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, a perverse nation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. Really, man? Really?
I be thinking now.
You be paid. I'm telling you, that would defeat the purpose of the pitch. If we're going to do something because he's out of line, then he start crying and let him cry. If you do something, if you strike a child,
I know it.
and then what? Let me tell y'all something. The rationale of what y'all be doing makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Man.
It defeats the whole entire purpose.
Oh.
If I see my child doing something out of line, and I get my good left foot and drop it right square in behind,
Right.
I know he's gonna start crying when I drop my foot right square in behind. If I pick the nigga up and say, oh, it's all right that I dropped my foot in your behind because you were out of line, that defeated the whole purpose of me dropping my foot in his behind.
Oh, yeah.
Now he actually looks at that there's really that corrective behavior, the corrective action for his behavior actually means nothing because you just gonna pick me up and baby me, so why even chastise me? And you know what ends up coming after that? I do not respect you. Your word means nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Like it defeat the purpose. If I'm gonna go ahead and slap 5 from him, slap 5 from you, and I'm gonna do just like I told that nigga, like, okay, that nigga that went to ride it. I said, well, hush it up. He didn't want to hush it, picked him up right off the ground, gave him 2 squats from behind. He said, that's really gonna make him stop. That nigga sucked that up. And he said, he started crying. I used to see it, he was there. But it's a fact, dog. They know what they doing, know what's going on. They know that I'm out of line. He asked me 3-4 times to cease from doing this, lest I strike you. I have no desire to strike you. You're pushing my hand to strike you. When I pick you up and strike you and tell you to be quiet, you do it instantly. Now, yeah, you can pick him up. I could have picked him up to get him to stop, but what will he learn from that? Other than whining is acceptable and he'll get the thing that I desire. That's all that he learned from that.
That's all.
You sat back, he just did something you didn't want to do. You pinch him, you hit him. Then he go to crying. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, he learned from, I'll cry, I'll get the desired result. Or he think, my mom is very mean, she just hits me for no reason. Either way it go, two things, the same thing gonna happen. I don't respect you. I'm saying, y'all thinking, I'm telling you, man, when it comes down to raising children, you're not their friends. The first thing you gotta do, they got to respect you. Y'all have no idea. It's bad if your kids don't respect you. It's even worse it's bad when a little girl don't respect her mama, but it's probably worse when a little boy don't. Cause he'll talk to mom do any kind of way. He'll do whatever you want him. You want your children to respect you. If they don't respect you, they don't love you. All that stuff y'all think you doing, that mean they don't love you? You gotta make them kids respect you. That's the first thing y'all did. He said, let me do some signs and some wonders. When they come up to this mountain, I'm gonna get some earthquakes, I'm gonna get some thunders. And what did Moses say? He said, don't fear not. He did this to prove you to whether you would sin or not. I got to get your respect. You got to respect my gangster off the rip. Because if you don't respect me, you won't do anything that I tell you to do. A lot of times why y'all got sideways with y'all people, because you ain't really respect them. Y'all ain't want to come out and admit it. You ain't respect them. That's why you tried them like that. Because whoever you respect, you wouldn't try them like that. That's real talk. I'm talking about you ain't never seen nobody in the street want to kill him. You like, screw you, nigga, unless you ain't respect him. They sat back and know, oh, bro, gonna handle this business. I gotta come correct. I'm gonna just get that man. What's going on, bro? You're not gonna call that man out his name. You ain't gonna call him a female dog. You ain't gonna call him a woman's vagina. You ain't gonna do none of that. You gonna get that man his respect. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing the Lord will tell us dealing with her. He said when you come into your adversary, agree with them quickly. He wouldn't tell you to cower or act like no coward. You see the police, he said just agree with him that he take you to the officer take you to the judge, and they cast you in the prison, and you don't come out till you pay the last money. Give him his respect. That's why he said honor the king. Honor those that are in power. Give them their respect. I'm telling you. That's one thing y'all ain't never learned and y'all don't know nothing about. Y'all don't know about respecting nobody. You know what I'm talking about? That's why y'all can get loose and try people the way you try, because you don't respect them. Then when they come back on you and unleash their wrath on you, then you be shocked. Because some people ain't with that. Some people demand their respect. Some people take their respect. You know what I'm talking about? If you want your kids to respect you, then you got to stand on what you're talking about. You can't be folded because they crying, because they upset, because you didn't like it when your mama or daddy did it to you. So you don't want to do it to them. That means you didn't love them, you didn't respect them. That's why you mad. And then what your kid gonna turn around, be twice as worse as you are. You got to demand respect. I don't play that type of junk, boy. You see every child in here respect me. They know I ain't gonna kill them, do nothing to them. You gonna respect me though. Cause last time I checked, I was grown, you was a child. Ain't no child finna be running me. I don't care nothing about it. Them tears don't move me, face balled up, and outright disgust me after a while when I know you trying to play me. See, like what he be doing, that's what he be trying to play me. Cause he know what's going on. When I say, look at me when I'm talking to you. Mom, he turned straight around. Look me right in the face and straighten his face up. And look at me like a man, like I know what you're saying, but I figure if I do it for a little longer, maybe you'll just go ahead and scoop me. I know you ain't never done it. And I know you probably won't do it this time. But maybe today will be the day. See, once I people, that boy very sharp. He very sharp. He know full well what he doing. I ain't going for nothing what you doing. That stuff don't move me. It'd be different if I really felt like that nigga didn't know what was going on. Come here, son. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, take your whole, all that, man. Take your lip down. No, you know better. I've been seeing it for a long time. I've been seeing it for a long time. Man, I actually had to take this nigga for about 3 weeks straight to break him off. If I put you in the corner, don't come out of here till I call for it. They didn't want to come when I called for him. He took a couple strike crosses behind, come on up out of there. Real fast. Because you know what you doing. You gonna respect me. Because I don't want to have to put my hands on you. I don't even want to have to raise my voice to you. I just want to give a simple command and you follow it. Especially with your boys. Because you want them to have that discipline and respect for authority and the ability to follow directions. You know what I'm talking about? That's why we had to crack that nigga across the dome. That's why we rolled him for that time period when he was acting a fool. And that's why we shouldn't be scared to never say nothing when he's acting a fool. Because we'll go on for him just like we go on for him. He had his moment to shine when it was all on him. No, Dwight, let me tell that story about them eyeballs getting big. He still thinks, he think I didn't know when your mama told me about the people said if you came back to school on spring break with that nonsense, they were going to put you out. I was just waiting for her to call me and say, they done put this nigga out of school. Because you done had extra booty cheek when I got done with you, boy. That thing would have went through some mitosis. Real talk. Ain't even no talk. We're on site. I'm talking about on site. Ain't no go do it. Let's go to Dwight House and get an extra belt on site. This Perry belt coming right off these jeans. I don't care if it fall to my kneecap. On site. I don't care who around. I wouldn't care if it was in the middle of the street, at the park, at the lot. This nigga just beat this job. And I look at him in the face, and you can call the police.
I'm fucking laughing.
Straight up. Try me and test me too. Make me a man, like the Joker said, and I'm a man of my word. Try me if you want.
I'm expecting too.
Try me if you want. Because she just ain't saying nothing. But I'm telling you, Sharon, try me if you want to. And think I won't whoop you on sight. I'm talking about no talking. Broad daylight. Because it's unacceptable. It ain't good, man. It ain't cool. You're a young man. You're supposed to clear yourself and stuff. It ain't hard to follow down there. You do what you want to do.
Better hope I ain't with them too, brother.
See, you looking crazy and looking ugly right now because you see me saying something to them. But you know better. And I know you know better. And I know you ain't stupid either. I know you got plenty sense. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want to respect what your mama say. I bet you respect my gangster, bro. Because I hit hard. You already know. Go and have your flashlight.
You better hope I ain't there with them.
I hit hard. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make, that's, if you sit back and look at it, that's what he said, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's respect. It's respect. When you actually respect somebody, you're going to respect what they say. When you don't respect that person, you don't care what they say. That's why you can talk back and get slick and all that type of stuff. Because you don't actually have that level of respect you claim you. Because you have respect for somebody. I don't say that.
Sure.
You'll go out your way not to displease them when you respect them. Respect's unsealed, man. A lot of y'all ain't never had it your whole life. You thought you did. See, I'm a man of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like we got that, like we heard Scarface say, I'm a man of respect. But coming up, we were taught that way. You got to be a man of respect. Because if not, niggas gonna bust your dome. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't talking about having no killers or just running those streets. Like we were taught as young men. The most of us ain't had no man to tell us that. But the older niggas around the way, like, boy, you got to make a nigga respect you, man. And you got to, man, and you got to respect other men. Because if you don't respect him as a man, cars might be willing to take his respect. This dude's out here willing to die for their respect. This dude's out here willing to kill for their respect. Why do you think a lot of dudes in the same game? Because it's about respect. So y'all don't know that about no man because y'all women, see, women really don't care nothing about no respect. That's not no big issue for y'all. But for a man like this here, bro, gotta respect me. You know what I'm talking about? Cause I'm telling y'all, when a man see a man don't respect him, or he run call, that's why a man can walk up and slap a man in the face because I have no respect for you. See, a man wouldn't slap another man in the face because I respect him. I know a fight come with that. I walk up and slap this man across his face. I don't respect this nigga. He's a woman in my eyesight. Man walk up and spit in the man's face. I don't respect this nigga. He's a woman in my eyesight. Man come up talking all loose out the mouth using fighting words. Anything that end with nigga. The cuss word known for a male's posterior. And anything before that is fighting words. Hoe. Female dog. Vagina. F nigga, all that type of stuff. Them fighting words. See, y'all women, y'all probably done said that stuff to a dude loose out the mouth, and you done probably seen a man like, boy, I hit one, I'm about to punch your hole right in the face. Cause it's fighting words. Men say that word to another man who they want to fight cause they know that's gonna get it, or they invite him under their clothes. Nigga, put your mouth on my penis. What? Them fighting words. That's lack of respect. Men real big on respect me. Why do you think a lot of men be snapping on y'all? Men y'all in debt with them snapping on. Where's my respect at? Then at the same time, y'all claim y'all don't want to mess with a dude who you don't respect. But y'all actually don't want a man who gonna demand that respect. I done told y'all that plenty of times. A lot of women say, I want me a godly man. No, you don't. No, you don't. You say you do till you find out what go along with that. That man ain't going with your junk, don't want to hear your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Do what I told you to do. I didn't ask you for your opinion. It's still coming along with that. Y'all be asking for stuff and saying y'all be wanting stuff. Y'all really don't be knowing what you be asking for. You know what I'm talking about? But I know me, boy. I ain't with it. You gonna respect me. Woman don't respect me, you can go. I can have a child right now. If I had a child more than like around this time, they'd probably be about a teenager. Nigga don't want to respect me, you can go. I demand mine. I demand mine. And if you don't gotta respect it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we ain't gotta fight or argue about it, you can go. Y'all, each and every one of y'all that got children in here, man, y'all got to learn, the little kids got to respect you. Every last one of y'all that's married or dating, you got to realize, a woman, you got to respect that man. Y'all really don't realize how much smoother things will go if you just give that man the respect that he do as a man. See, you can see niggas joke around and play, but it's certain stuff real men know you don't cross that line you don't say about no other man, because it's just not right. Those are fighting words. There's no man in the world. Like I said, man, Proverbs chapter 1 says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. The book still ain't talking about walking in the fear and the admonition of the Lord. It just means reverential awe or respect. How else you gonna serve God if you do not respect him? If the man say don't do this, don't do that, you don't do it, God respect your gangster on that. See, every time your mama tells you to do something and you don't do it, you show her you lack respect for her. Every time the teacher tells you to do something and you don't do it, you show you lack respect for them. When she tells you to remind them, you show you lack respect for them. Because I worry about you. And you better be lucky on a lot of things. I wasn't present because I would slap every tooth out your mouth. Every last one. I done heard about some of the looks you done gave her when she told you something. I done heard about some of the looks you done gave your mama. I done seen some of the looks you done gave your mama. She just didn't see you when she told you to do something. I just couldn't get up at that time because I was preaching to punch you in your face. You know what I'm talking about? Call put that none of that stuff there. See, I would never disrespect my mama. Never. Just didn't do it. I didn't disrespect all her adults. If I got in trouble, it's because I strategically did it for a reason. I knew exactly what I was doing, why I was doing it. I used to get suspended from school on purpose because my mama said, if you get suspended from school, you going to your granddad's house. What? That ain't no punishment. I would purposely fake a tantrum in the classroom and flip desk and ask a pure fool to go sit around at a Richard house for 3-4 days. It's straight up. I almost fell in the 4th grade behind that. These people talking about we need to send them by talking about the sea. Ain't nothing wrong with me. My mama said I'm going to my granddad's house. That's a bet. That's how I looked at it was. That wasn't no punishment to me. I wanted to go around them. But guess what that man also taught me? How to have respect. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I wanted to go to my granddad's house, man. I was willing to get in trouble for that. You know, I didn't, you know, my mom didn't appreciate it, but hey, man, I know a woman gonna come with that, but I be the rich house at the wild. I was willing to take that. You know, I just weighed that out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 9 years old, I weighed that out. That butt gonna stain for a little while, but then at the granddaddy house about 3-4 days. And I can see him opening that door. I'm good. Right out there in Pickettfield. But you just be doing stuff. See you making little faces like that there? See the faces you making? See, that's how they have doom hand down. Cause right now I want to get up and slap fire from him because I don't like how you looking at it.
You don't do it good, man.
I don't like how you looking at it. I really don't. John chapter 10 verse 30. I'm trying to tell you something real now. Yahshua feared God. He told you that in Hebrews 5 and 7, Yahshua was heard that he feared. That means he had respect as a son had to his father. And because he had that respect, he was able to confirm his covenant with us in the week. He was able to make in the midst of the week, stop the sacrifice and obligation. He was able to make us the sons of God. That's why he said the love, what man love and the Father bestowed upon us, that we might be called the sons of God. After that, we look at Ezekiel chapter 20. I'm going to get ready to let y'all go. That's what it's about, right? Becoming the sons of God, right? Being renewed. Well, you gotta fix your face, boy. I'm telling you, boy. You better get that right, boy. I don't like how you looking at me. You looking at me like you want to fight. I ain't got no problem with you squaring your throat.
I was going to see you. You like a sergeant.
Straight up and down, cause I ain't no woman, bro. You can look at me all you want. I ain't none of your classmates. Look at it. Boy, I'm 34 years old, nigga. And we can do it however you want to do it. We ain't got the, nigga, I'll get on my knees, nigga, and we can fight.
It just so happened you were acting up in school today too. What a coincidence.
Outside first?
And I'm having a hard time keeping these alligators down. Lord turn around and got you. You just thought it was about the babies, huh? I know they don't know no better. They just do stuff. We're trying to get them in line early. But you gotta work. I told you, I'll take mine right on my waist.
No, I thought this new Timberland belt. You know what I'm saying?
That's a who?
I just found this new Timberland belt in my closet. You know what
I'm
I'm
telling you, I told him, I'm going to belt on this nigga.
Yeah, that's that good leather, right?
Yeah, matter of fact, let me get him ready.
You see that thing now?
You all right? You gonna get the job done today?
No, that's that tip leather, right?
It don't matter. I use both of them.
I got it work like that one time. It is nothing nice.
I know it ain't. That's why I'm gonna do it.
Nothing nice. And if you do it person, that's hard, pick up the other one.
No, I ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't no pick up. Double time.
Let them get one more.
No, I ain't playing with you. You holler at me, boy. I could have let you slide on the acting up till you looked at me like I was a real whole nigga. Like you wanted to fight. I seen him too. And now you got to see me about that.
Now you look all innocent. Look at him. You try to look all innocent now.
Now you got to see me. Y'all laughing. I ain't been because y'all ain't see how he was looking.
I'm talking about this.
Yeah, now yeah. Oh, and the reason why I like to respect. Now you got to see me.
I'm dead serious.
That's how you were looking at it. Now you got to see me. If you want to get that, if you just want to sit there and took that admonition, and then after you would have told me you were acting a fool in school, I probably would have let you live, because that was actually a decree or something that would come after the day. But because you looked at me like I was a real whole nigga, you got to see me. I and my Father are one. When the Jews took up stones again to stone him, Yahshua answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me? The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work stone you thee not, but for blasphemy, because thou being a man make thyself God. And Yahshua answered, is it not written in your law, I said ye are gods? If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken. You don't start wiping no tears away now, nigga. Say ye of him whom the Father hath sanctified and sent into the world, thou blaspheme, because I say I am the Son of God. The whole purpose of this man coming was to make of the sons of God. In the midst of the week, the lights were established. When he breathed the Ruach HaKodesh in them, he made them the sons of God. And then what they turn around and do on Pentecost? Preach the word to do what? To make more sons of God. He did this in the midst of the week, causing the sacrifice and oblation to cease. He confirmed the covenant in the week when he came to show us. Look at my hands. I overcame death. I beat it. The new covenant is here. Your sins are forgiven. Not a word can dwell in your heart and your inward part, and you can be made alive. Thank the Lord. This will be what? The General Assembly, house of the firstborn. You know how he may experience a just man perfect? Hebrews chapter 11, for I forgive it. Now what did he do to those that were in prison? He preached the word to them, right? Remember we seen it already this week in Job chapter 28? We seen it before in Deuteronomy chapter 11. We seen it before in Ezekiel chapter 26. We seen it before in Ezekiel chapter 31. Because some people say, well, if Yahshua the way and you can't get salvation but through Yahshua, what happened to the people before him? He came and preached the word to them, idiotic nigga. Yeah. Hebrews 11 and 32. Because if they were just men, that means guess what? He said the just will do what? Live by their faith, right? That's what the book of Habakkuk said. Abraham was confirmed to be righteous because he believed in God. He said, what not shall I more say, for the time shall fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, and of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, and wrought righteousness, obtained promises, and stopped the mouths of lions. Don't y'all sit back and look at that y'all through faith Yahshua subdued kingdoms, the kingdom of the wicked one that brings sin down, because he said the prince of this world is judged. I subdued his kingdom. Huh? Don't you realize this man said that this man worked righteousness? Because he believed God. He said, I know the commandment of my Father is life everlasting. He worked the righteousness of the world. He showed forth that faith. I didn't want to deal with how that's about Yahshua, about the just living by faith for a good little minute. That's all of him. He lived by that. Everything the Father told him that he would do for him, he knew the Father was going to do it. He lived his time on this earth by the faith he had in the Father to execute everything that was completed. That's why he said, if it's possible, let the cup pass. But he said, if not, let thy will be done. Then when he turned back around and told Peter, he said, the cup that my Father give me, shall I not drink it? Because I got to drink it unless I will confirm this covenant in this week. I got to confirm it during unleavened bread. If I don't do it during unleavened bread, the covenant ain't confirmed. And if the covenant ain't confirmed, God is alive. And if God is alive, we are all the dead men. But if I do confirm it in this week, and I make the sacrifice stop in the middle of the week, then reconciliation is brought forth, everlasting righteousness is brought through, your sins are forgiven. All Daniel was talking about from verse 24 all the way to 27 was the death, resurrection, and birth as the sons of God by the Messiah. That's what all that was about. These niggas talking about, oh, that's the Antichrist with the bonnet. Don't be no dummy. Actually, that abomination of desolation, when you sit back looking at, they committed an abominable thing by making the house of God desolate. Remember the 7 abominations that was in the man's heart who speak with flattery, but yet it caused him to be purified 7 times. We just talked about that overcoming flood was the people coming to get him. See, y'all already know all this stuff. You know how many Hebrew Israelites don't know none of that? Can't catch none of that. Don't even know the abomination of desolation. And he said, sat back and he said, man, y'all destroyed my tabernacle. I'll raise it in 3 days. They say this house was 46 years in making. How you gonna build it back in 3 days? But he said that he spoke of the tabernacle of his body. Because they committed an abominable thing. They killed the Son of the living God. That's why he said, he that delivered me unto you, he has the greater sin. Verse 38. Look at 39. We ain't got to read all of it. And all these, having obtained a good report through faith, receive not the promise. God having provided something better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. So how was the souls of these just men made perfect? When he went in the earth and preached to the spirits in prison. Then these just men were made perfect. Then they could be the general assembly in the house of the firstborn. Revelation chapter 20 verse 4, back it up. Ooh, boy, we finna have some tan nigga hide tonight. Who wants some? Who wanna take part?
I don't know, because I didn't get my chance before we came.
Well, let you, by all means. You know, by all means, he gets born, you will be first. By all means.
This one, because I already know.
So I'm saying that nigga around like a split.
Pass it around like a dude, by all means.
I was just killing in the other day, like that stuff, and acting like a female, so.
By all means. I would not dare take the chance.
So, yeah.
I would not even take away the opportunity for you to work him first. I don't think of that, John. Y'all need to start knocking these niggas out.
Yeah, that's nice belt right now.
Start knocking these niggas out. That's what I say.
Nice
Yeah,
belt.
before they get up in age and it's too late.
Oh, you got too late. I get a bullet across me.
And I saw thrones. And they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahshua, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with the Messiah 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years was finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and Kodesh is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of God and of the Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. You know, Paul talked about how we would be like the first fruits of his creatures. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you take part of the first resurrection, then that means you would actually put on the firstborn, which means that you would be of the house of the firstborn. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You got to put this man on to become, because how is he going to come out and good? Because if you come out on the second one, you're done. Remember he said, he that overcometh, I will be his father. He shall be my son. He will inherit all things. This is what he means about the general assembly and house of the firstborn. Because the inheritance goes to the firstborn. This man tells you, if you put on the son, then you will be co-heirs or joint heirs with a Mashiach. That's what he told you in Romans chapter 8, verse 14. He said, our spirit bear witness that we are the sons of God. And if the sons of God, then heirs, then joint heirs with the Messiah. If so be we suffer with him. See, that's what nobody want to do. Take them sufferings on. Nobody want to do that. Ezekiel chapter 20, so we can get out of here. I got somebody but the one. Ezekiel 20 and 33. Man, I was good for that nigga looked at me like I was a whole nigga boy. I know. I was good. I was good. Y'all were laughing. I ain't laughing. That's complete disrespect. I don't play none of that junk. If he was my old flesh and blood, I'd jump up and snatch that nigga by his throat. That's real. See, y'all see certain stuff and y'all don't be like, oh, I don't play none of that stuff. That's knocked out on sight. I'm talking about Undertaker choke slam on sight. I don't play none of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the Reagan administration, man. Nigga don't play none of that type of stuff.
He said the Reagan administration. They ain't playing no games back then.
You don't play none of that type of stuff, man. Knock niggas clean out, man. I don't skin and grin with no churn, man. I don't play none of that stuff. That's why they'll be like, oh, he's so hard on them. I don't play none of that stuff. And you know what? When they get about 8, 9, 10 years old, you'll see why, because they ain't gonna give you no trouble.
Listen, I'm taking notes.
They ain't gonna give you no trouble.
I'm taking notes.
They ain't gonna give you no trouble. I'm gonna say and tell you something. I just sit back and look at it. She's not a hard-headed baby. She have her moments. He ain't no hard-headed little boy. He just like to play. He just feel like all the time is to play. Sherelle tattle too much, don't like to listen. That nigga think he can do what he want to do. You know what I'm talking about? Leah just sit back and she look at, if I get caught doing something and you say something to me, I be so upset that you done straighten me. I'm running for somebody to hug me and hold me because I don't like for you to be upset with me. I know I'm wrong, but don't please don't tell me.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? I know I'm wrong, please don't tell me. Somebody hug me, please. You know what I'm saying? Because she know when she be wrong. And she just don't like for you to point it out because for her, really with her is, she really don't want you to be upset with her. Once you been done called her out that she wrong, it hurt her. You know what I'm saying about? Lil Mike, he just be doing his thing. He just be doing his thing. Yeah, he just doing Lil Mike. He just doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? He just doing his thing. He let me know I'm here. I'm in the building. I'm living. You know what I'm saying? Anybody got some blocks? Got some talks? Anything. All the way. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga can't even really get. Look, Mike don't even do nothing. Get your son. Come on, man. Mike's 60, man. He just a boy. I mean that same thing with Kingston. Because Kingston just a boy. He just a boy. He just want to play all the time. These niggas on 10, 24/7. These niggas ain't got no breaks. You know what I'm saying? Ever. Like, man, Kingston and Lil Mike will run around his house all night long and never do sleep. And Leah gonna be trying to keep up with him. They run, she like to say, I like to run too. So you got 3 children in here, like, I ain't never seen 3 2-year-old baby like to run. I ain't never seen that before. And run together. Yeah, these niggas on the call country too. Who you think gonna win?
Nah, Leah, she ain't going out now.
Shoot, Leah gonna find a way. Nigga, y'all ain't already told you. Leah try to free Lizzie from prison. Leah, right? Nobody watching. Slip right over there to the door. Try to open it up.
Yeah, what you want, Schwartz? She's going out now.
No, we can talk about actually put on the outfit. I'm talking about them running all the country together.
She's going out.
Just them 3.
She's going out.
Y'all just run. Let's see who run the furthest, who get the furthest without giving up.
I got home in Kingston.
Got your money on Kingston? Yeah, I got mine on Kingston too. I got my money on Kingston too.
I just going second, man.
Yeah, cause I think Leah gonna quit. Leah gonna be like, hell, I'm through with this. It's time to go sit down.
You're going to have to stop her title on.
Leah be like, this guy, I ain't got time for this nonsense.
Yeah, I think your nails or something, man.
It says, verse 33 of Ezekiel 20, so we get out of here. As I live, says y'all, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries where you are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and then will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness in the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yah, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me, and I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yah. How y'all think that relates to the Lord? Because you know, most Israelites tell you that's about us going back to the wilderness, and the same thing that happened when we were in Egypt will happen again. But I'm here to tell you, this already happened. Anybody got any idea? Anybody want to take a shot? Anybody want to roll the dice? Look at me here.
And he'll talk to us. Trying to get us to tell him.
Remember when we looked at Yahshua coming in the flesh was just like when we were in the wilderness? So when he actually came on the scene in the flesh, he said, I will plead with you face to face. So when Yahshua came in the flesh, he actually pled with them face to face, literally. We just read this yesterday in John chapter 8. He said, if God was your father, you would believe me because I proceed from him. Remember he said Emmanuel mean what? In the beginning was the word, and the word was was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word dwelt among us. This man literally came and played with us face to face. Look what he said. I caused you to pass under a rod. He said that a rod will come out of the stem of Jesse. He said, I'll bring you into the bond of the covenant. But you know that bond of the covenant has been established. We just read about it. Ain't no going in the wilderness to bring you up under no bond of no covenant. That's been done. You know what it means to bring something to bond of the covenant? Make it one. We read about it last night. Sanctify them by thy truth. Thy word is true. He that sanctified, he that is sanctified, all one. For which cause he's not ashamed to call them brethren. You gotta sit back and look at it. The rod is rule or authority. He come to get you to humble down up under the sun. Every knee gonna bow, every tongue gonna confess. You actually going under the rod right now as we speak. He actually trying to bring you into the bond of the covenant as we speak. So I'm gonna bring somebody in the bond of the covenant in about 15, 20 minutes. Gonna bond a pair of his belt straight in behind. Cause you know what? Gotta put that rod on. Gotta put that rod on. You know what I'm saying? See, the Lord had to put that rod on each and every person sitting in this room, every person on the end of this counter, every person on the end of this phone. He got to bring you under the bond of the covenant. He got to bring you under the rod. You know when Paul came, he said, should I come in meekness or should I come with a rod? Meaning correction. Remember how we just read about how he said if you learn of the Messiah and you learn the truth, which is in Hamashiach, you will turn from sin. He's bringing you under the rod of correction. So you can become one with God, so you can become the sons of the living God, further confirming Genesis chapter 1. Further confirming Daniel 9:27. We have to keep that type of stuff in mind. The objective for us to be the sons of the living God. Ain't that what we here for? What other purpose are we here for? The only purpose why you should be here is to save your soul. If you're not here for that, you might want to get up and go. See, these niggas think that means you're going to be me. Somebody look your black behind because I love you. If I ain't care nothing about you, I'll let you do what you want to do. I don't want to say nothing to you. I'll be like, I hope my wife will kick you out of school. I hope you get out on the streets, get a big bag of crack, a big pitch on a nigga, kill you there, and you go to prison, and a nigga rape you. That's what somebody said to somebody. They will hope the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you will happen to you. And truth be told, selling drugs, getting killed, or going to prison and having your manhood stripped from you is probably the worst thing that happened to you. Or you start smoking crack. I desire better things than that of you. So therefore, I'm going to beat you into oblivion. I'm telling you, man, I'll be dead honest with you. I done said it a few times. I would have let you slide till you looked at me like I was a real Mark Wayne buster. Now you got to see me. Now you got to see how much of a buster I am. Now you got to see how much of a buster I am.
This is a radio school.
That's how you look at it. Now how you look at it. Now you got to see me. John 5:39. I'm telling you, man. Gotta get your mind right, son, cause boy, you got an attitude problem. I mean, one time T told me that nigga looked at her, she told that nigga look at her like, what? I done knocked all that nigga teeth out of his mouth out of now. You gonna learn some respect, boy. You either gonna learn it or it's gonna get beat in you, or you gonna end up getting killed out here on these streets. We trying to save your life, boy. You don't want what's out there on them streets. You don't want what's out there on them streets. And you definitely don't want to be out here in this world without God. Hopefully we can beat you hard enough you see him tonight.
Well, he gonna get no high for us.
Don't make sure now. We can't give you ball 41. I'm gonna make mine count though. I want y'all to hear that now. We ain't gonna be like the Hebrew now. We ain't gonna make a vow in our eyesight. We ain't going past 40. He can't get before the lashes. But ooh, I'm gonna make mine
Per
count.
person, right?
No, not 40 per person. She was trying to hit the nigga with a $1.20. Nigga say glad you ain't. No, I don't want to say that. That nigga a freak. I want to say glad she the dungeon master. She might like that job too much. Walk around with crazy outfits on.
I ain't got on shorts, boy.
Better hope I keep them on.
I don't think so. He got bad hands. I ain't gonna prove.
Search the scriptures. For any of you think you have eternal life, and they will testify me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of God in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, then you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from God only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. But as you believe Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Praise ye Yah for Yahshua in the word. Y'all want to see all this stuff? Thank you, Lord. Oh boy.